Welcome to the NUSA training tutorial on history and reports. We're going to talk about both of these functions in this one tutorial. First, let's discuss history. You'll access the history page by clicking at the top this history link. Now, the history page will provide information about the users that you've modified, activated, inactivated, or reset the password for, whether that change was made by you or any administrator who has NUSA access in your state. Let's talk about reading the information on the page. The action will be displayed in the larger font. For example, on the first row here, we see Modified User. This tells us what action was performed, the date and time it was performed, and by whom, in this case, B. Barton Wagner. It tells you over here on the right what ID was modified. And in this case, because it's a modified user, you see a More link here. Now, you don't have to click right on the letter I. Anywhere on this row, if you click because there's a More showing, that will give you the opportunity to see specifically what was changed. In this case, we changed the address from 70 West State Street to 700 West State Street. If we want to see what we did right before that at 10 o'clock 24, we'd click here and we see the phone number was changed from nothing to this phone number. A little lower down, when we see password reset, there's no need for more information. We know it's a password reset. And the same is true for activating or inactivating a user. So that's it. The system history is very valuable to see exactly what you changed when you modified a user, or whether you reset a password, or whether someone else who has NUSA access as an administrator in your state performed that password reset. That can be very helpful with timing issues. For example, a user may have both called you and emailed you or your support desk to ask that you reset their password. And you may want to coordinate with another administrator in your state. You're just not sure, did they already do it or not? Well, not a bad idea to check system history first and see before you go ahead and reset the password, potentially a second time. So that's the system history page. Now let's talk about reports, which are similar but not the same. Reports, which are accessed to the right of history, give you listings of users that are generated as spreadsheets you can use to further sort or manipulate the user information. So generally, in NUSA, you're either resetting a password or activating or inactivating an ID, or you're modifying some basic demographic information, but you're generally working with one user at a time. What if you need to generate a report that shows all the users in your state, or perhaps all the users with or without their permissions? That's what the reports function is for. And it's pretty easy to use. There's a couple of basic sections. The first thing you'll need to do is choose a report type. And there are 3 reports. The first one is called User List. This is nothing more than a basic listing of all the users in your state, which will include their first name, last name, email address, whether they're active or inactive users, and if you like, some additional information. So, first we'll choose the user listing. The next is an option for whether or not you want to see the date their password is going to expire. We're going to say yes in this case. And below it, you'll see what the criteria for the report is going to be. All users in Microsoft Excel format. Now, all these reports are generated in Excel format. So all you really have to do at this point is click anywhere in this orange Generate Report link. When you click that link, you're going to get an option to either open it in Excel or save it. I'm going to just choose to open it in Excel. If Excel were already open, it would launch it right there. In this case, I opened Excel. Here's the user ID, the user type. Are they a regulator or a contractor? Their first name, their last name. For example, here's Wilbur Horsey. If you enter department information, that would be displayed automatically. Here's the password expiration date. Whether it's a past or future expiration date, this is the date that the password either did expire or will expire, and their active status. So that's a good way to get a report of all your users. Now that's the user listing report. I'm going to jump back here over to the browser and run the other reports. User by access assignment. Remember, access assignments are really the names of the tools in iSight or MyNEIC to which the users have access. So if you want a more robust report that shows not just a listing of all your users, but also what access assignments they have, you could just change the report type, generate the report again, open it in Excel. It's going to take a moment here. We're going to jump over to Excel. And now you're going to see some additional information. We're going to look at D. Cook, Darren Cook. Here's their user ID or username. State insurance regulator is their user type. First name, last name, and below the last name, all the tools, all the access assignments to which the user has access. Same information is going to report department, expiration date, or active status. Let's take a look at the access assignments by user report. This is essentially the same report as user by access assignment, just a different sort. This tells you by access assignment which users are assigned that access. So for example, who has access to complaints database system? Just Wilbur Horsey. But who has access to pick a page, which is financial statement pages? That would be both Darren Cook and Wilbur Horsey. So again, this shows you what access assignments your state's users have, but sorted by access assignment to show you who has them.